All right, guys. All right. Boom. Hitting with the intro, guys. Coming in live at you. Shout out to Ben Kirkland for the design on the intro. Beautiful stuff as always. Beautiful stuff as always. And we're here, guys. We made it. Whew. Hey, no freaking out, guys. We made it. I was able to fix the godforsaken internet. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me today for another breaking Bitcoin market update. Of course, I am Justin Wise, lead analyst and senior mentor at Cryptocurrencies.com. And today is Wednesday, February the 13th, 2019. And of course, obligatory pause for water. Okay, great. Let's get this thing going, guys. Hopefully you guys are doing well out there. Let me see if there's anything interesting to talk about right off the top of my head. Didn't really see any interesting news that I want to go over. Nothing particularly interesting. I'll let all the other kind of YouTubers and streamers cover the more day-to-day mundane news nuggets. Of course, there's some crypto whale out there, some Bitcoin billionaire that says, you guys should buy now while it's cheap. Well, duh. Anyways, moving on. All right, let's get right to this. Of course, we do have just 2 days left in the giveaway, guys. Let me refresh this, make sure this is up to date. 2 days left in the giveaway. Take yourself on over to crackingcryptocurrency.com and enter to win if you have not already. 350 total entrants, only 2 days left in the giveaway. We will do this live on the air. Of course, you are competing for a free month of access to the premium trading group for Cracking Cryptocurrency, access to all the wonderful stuff that members do receive. You can participate using any of your existing social media accounts. You do not need to create a unique account for this particular giveaway. Now, when this finishes up, we are going to, let's say in the stream here, when this finishes up, we will be doing a giveaway. 5 masternodes worth of X42 coin will be the next giveaway. Following that, we'll be giving away quite a large portion of MMO coin as well, guys. So, proud supporters of the show, we give them a big thank you for allowing us to do this promotion with them. Let's see. The unconfirmed transactions have come down quite a bit since that $30,000 from yesterday. Let's see, what did we go over yesterday? This was a big bust, this WikiLeaks thing. All right, moving on. Let's take a look at some volumetric data, guys. First thing we always want to look at is vcdepth.io. Give the page a nice refresh, guys. As always, let's take a look at the global market depth ratio. The top earners for MDR are still UDC, USDC, and PAX. So still a lot of individuals moving their proceeds, their profits, into stablecoins, as we would expect. The top 24-hour MDR growth in MDR is MPXS, Waves, and Zcash. So we will be taking a look at those. All right. Looking at Bitcoin, 24-hour price change down about 0.5 percentile on the daily. MDR down about 1.53% total. That's its total growth. So not extremely bearish, fairly neutral actually. Ethereum's MDR actually up a little bit. Litecoin's MDR overall up, still positive, still more buyers than sellers in Litecoin. Ripple more sellers than buyers, as well as USDT, which is interesting. People seeming to prefer USDC and UDC. Now, one of the things that I had mentioned yesterday was, although I do use Tether because there's more pairs to trade Tether to, there is an argument to be made for using UDC, USDC. Now, think about this for a second, particularly USDC, because they are, if you are a trader, if you're an American trader in particularly, if you're going to be trusting a stable coin to go into, Tether is not. If all the worst fears in the world come true and Bitfinex becomes insolvent and they default on their obligations for Tether and the treasury is drained and the money is not there to repay back investors, I think that a company like Circle, which is backing USDC, is going to, you're going to have a much better chance of getting your money back from a company like Circle or Square. So VC Depth just added BitMEX, so the MDR changed. Interesting. Cool. I missed that little news nugget, man. I suppose I should probably subscribe to the VCDepth.io newsletter giveaway. All right. We continue to see rising open interest, which is pretty good to see. After just on a pretty good steady upwards trend here, guys. Anyways, moving on. Nearest 5% of price getting a little bit more short-term action. Ethereum looking a little more bullish. Ripple looking a little bit more bullish. And Litecoin looking a little bit more bullish. But we do have to look at that 24-hour MDR change as well. So let's take a look at Bitcoin. You're right, they did add BitMEX. All my dreams have come true. Oh, fantastic. All right, so taking a look at the market depth ratio, nothing significant, nothing massive here. A lot of sellers have dropped off, but haven't fully retreated into panic mode. Sellers still on the rise. Everything's pretty much neutral on Bitcoin. I'm not really eager to jump into a position one way or the other. Took a scalp on BitMEX. Obviously, I talked about that on the stream yesterday. BitMEX dropped down to that 35.50, 35.60 level. I did get an average fill around 35.55 because I had buys set at 35.60, 35.50. Last night, I set a $50 trailing stop. That hit. I exited with about 0.74% profit. That's not too bad. Ethereum, the same thing. I had talked about in the premium group how I was scaling into Ethereum with $1 buy order spaced. So I got filled. I got filled at 118, 117, and 116. Of course, price came 6 cents above 115. They just knew I had a buy order there. They didn't. It's just that's what people say, but they didn't. And I set a $4 trailing stop last night. So out on that at about 3% profit. Got stopped out on an attempt to take Litecoin to the upside. Now my my analysis has shifted a little bit on Litecoin, just looking at price action. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. So nothing really fantastic to talk about here for Ethereum on market depth ratio. Nothing really giving us a clear signal one way or the other. Ethereum looking exactly the same, of course. Let's go take a look at Litecoin. Litecoin, there's still more buyers than sellers, which there will be at the top of an uptrend. So we do need to coach this. We do need to take this information with a grain of salt, and we need to convert it into a method that will give us actionable trades. So we do know that at the top of an uptrend, there are going to be more individuals attempting to put on longs. And we do want to look for opportunities in the market when the longs are getting overconfident. However, typically, as long as the market depth ratio is bullish, meaning that there are more spot buyers than spot sellers, price will, in general, continue to go up. Looking at Ripple right here, we don't yet have the impetus to be in a positional Ripple trade. Did take Ripple to the upside last night. Got in right before the pump. Used a 120 sat trailing stop, so I was able to take initial profits at come on, brain, work. Let me go over here to my chart and tell you. Sorry, guys. Okay. Yeah, took initial profits at 36.60, my bad. 86.60. And then came down and hit my trailing stop. And now I'm kind of waiting to re-enter. We'll see that when we get to the chart. So, all right. Hey, Light Yagami, what's going on? Hey, Delilah, what's going on, hon? Make sure you're paying good attention in school. I love you too, honey. All right, now okay, so having looked at this, sorry, let me get back over to my screen here. I was looking at some stuff. Let's take a look at BitGur, see if we see any actionable information. Let's just roll this back a little bit so we can kind of couch this data and what's really going on. Take off the short positions. I just want to see bull and bear income. Okay, good. And this is kind of exactly what I want to see. So we can see spikes in bear income, price reverses to the upside, spikes in bull income to the downside, spikes in bull income to the downside. What do we see right now? Spikes in bull income. So longs are in profitable positions, and we can justify this. We can back this up by looking at the fact that proceeds are flowing into UDC, USDC. Profits are flowing into stablecoins. So interesting to see. We do see that bear income is quite low at this current point in time. Actually, if we go ahead and zoom on over, we can see the exact same thing. Bear income is quite negative, so everybody in short positions is underwater. Everybody in a long position is in good profit. Everybody that entered around this area. So Now, is this going to tell us exactly when and where and how price will go down? No, it just tells us to be on the lookout for a potential trend reversal. That's Enroid correlations, bid-ask sum. I don't think there's really any point to looking at that. We will take a look at CoinFarm Online here real quick, and CoinFarm Online aggressiveness is fairly flat. Okay, so having done that, so what information can we take from that? Bull bear income is telling us to be on the lookout for a potential topping formation in Bitcoin, and we can expect Ethereum to go in lockstep with it. We can expect Ripple. Ripple has the potential to counter trade Bitcoin's trend, so we can look for potential opportunities upside, especially looking at recent price action. We can assume that Litecoin has hit initial take profit targets as we took Litecoin to the upside. We can look there is potential for it to continue on its climb, but as we can see right now, it does look like it's on the way down. Now, we have to be careful about when and where we exit, because Litecoin being at the top of the earning potential is going to be extremely volatile for the short term. So we do have to be very careful if we're looking to get a good position, a good entry for a move to the downside. So I'll show you guys kind of the areas that I'm keeping my eye on as we move forward. And of course, we'll be posting those out to the members when I actually do initiate a position. So currently, for myself, couple altcoin positions, a couple stabs that I'm going to take for scalps this morning. Those have been posted to the members group. Overall, still in a TRX H19 short. Have been in that short since 7:45. Average entry. So I don't see any indications to get out of that. I've already taken profits, so it's about 50%. It's about 50% of a position now. I added previously, and then price ended up spiking extremely down. So I took profits on that when we did hit that initial profit level. The next level that I'd like to see for TRX H19 to the downside is 575. But I'm not adding to my position yet. I'm kind of going to wait and see how things shake out here a little bit. Slow, calm, patient, easy trading. So far, just lower lows, lower highs. Let's see here. Okay, let's get over to the charts, talk about some stuff. All right, let's start off with the old BitMEX coin here. Let's start off with Bitcoin on BitMEX. The Illuminati, Delilah. That's what it is. Okay, so looking at the 12-hour chart here, let's actually start with the 24-hour chart. Actually, looking at the 24-hour chart, I want to make sure that I have my settings correct. Getting a little bit of lag. All right, cool. And we are going to be looking at the 12-hour time frame for our trend. We're going to be using 7 for our cycle length, and we are not going to be calculating advanced price action just for the purposes of this demonstration. All right. So we do see that we currently have a bullish day as far as our trending indicator is telling us. We obviously had a bearish day yesterday. Little nice, not a spinning top doji, but just a doji candle. Almost a long-legged doji, depending on how you want to call it. Came back down to that support level that I was talking about, 35.50, 35.60. Did a little bit of a run-up. I mean, this is very difficult to trade. Liquidity to the downside cleared out. Liquidity to the upside cleared out. And then currently, depending on how the daily closes, we can kind of get some reference if you're doing candlestick analysis on which way this is going to go. If we take a look at our exponential moving averages, just the exact same thing that I was saying yesterday. Not really eager to be in a position to the downside until the daily breaks the 21 exponential moving average. Currently just sandwiched in between the 21 exponential moving average and the 55 exponential moving average, just like on a weekly time frame. Price is sandwiched in between. Come on now. Oh, sorry. We're going to have to go to the Bitstamp chart to see that. Apologies. Just like on the weekly time frame. Sorry, lost my dramatic flair there. Just like on the weekly time frame, price is sandwiched in between the 200 exponential and the 200 simple moving average. So while and until that changes, still just range bound. We do see some promising ascending price action with the 200 simple moving average moving up and supporting price. Of course, price did bounce off that 200 simple moving average as well as the 3390 area of horizontal support and resistance that we had talked about. However, let's coach exactly what I said previously. Just a second, guys. Hey, Delilah, chill out in the chat, honey. This is serious grown-up time, okay? Thank you. All right, guys. So just like price is sandwiched on the weekly time frame in between the 200 exponential and the 200 simple moving average. Now, price is being supported with an ascending uptrend on the 200 simple moving average on the weekly time frame. However, as I said previously, Honey Badger don't care. Honey Badger don't give a shit. It just takes. Hey, thanks so much, Jack. Jack K23. Just like as I said previously, 3390 horizontal level of support and resistance. If price, as I said, if price does get a movement off 3390, I was very speculative about the fact or about the potential of it gaining enough volume and liquidity to be able to break above horizontal resistance, coming in, looking at the weekly equilibrium block, coming in around 4,000, 4,102. Now, we have a lot of areas of resistance coming in here. Obviously, that 200 exponential moving average. We have the descending trend line on the daily. We could plot it on the weekly, but it's more accurate on the daily. Just plotting from the wicks down. We have been rejected from that area on the daily time frame 3 times already. 1, 2, 3. Now, we do know this. The more times that resistance is tested, the more that resistance or support are tested, the weaker that they become. And the more, it's like useless. It's useless. The more exposed. I said to calm down in the chat, Delilah, so that people can pay attention to what I'm trying to do. Thank you so much, honey. Appreciate your support. So the more times that we test resistance or support, the weaker it becomes. We do know this. However, until that resistance breaks in a strong, convincing fashion, we do have to assume our negative bias and look to put shorts on in those areas. So my optimal shorting area still becomes just as I was saying when we were coming up here to this area. As we were coming in line with the daily resistance diagonal trend line, still looking in these areas to put on shorts, which is exactly what I was saying previously at this point in time. Now, if we are able to break above the my life is going wonderful today. All right, now, the first potential sign of bullishness would be a daily close above the 55 exponential moving average. However, that would be one of 3 for me. The current resistances that we have been unable to break above currently for Bitcoin's declining price action has been the 55 exponential moving average on the daily time frame, the diagonal resistance trend line, and the weekly equilibrium block. Okay, so we have those levels pretty well spaced out. We obviously have the 55 exponential moving average coming in at 3708. We have the diagonal trend line. If we were to plot where we would potentially break that level, let's just project into the future a little bit. We're going to say 3800 to 3850. And then, of course, we have the weekly equilibrium block coming in between 4,000 and 4,100. Now, as we start to break those levels, if you want to take a risky overall counter trend trade, you can start pyramiding into positions on the way to the upside. However, I'm still going to be looking to put on shorts in this area and then I will reevaluate if we're able to close the daily above the diagonal resistance trend line. Now, I still think that even if that does happen, I think that we'll most likely be heading into a bull trap. I do think that we need to go lower than we need to go. I do think that we need to go below 3,000 to pick up the liquidity and to clear out the market before we do go back up. Now, can I be wrong about that? Yes, absolutely. Am I married to my opinion? No, I'm not. I'm not married to any particular individual trade, position, asset class. It doesn't matter. I'm a trader. And so the purposes of analysis are to help me establish my bias. However, at the end of the day, it comes down to, as a trader, analysis is different than trading. It comes down to if this, then that logic. If this happens, then I will do this. No hesitation, no doubt. I won't check stock twits. I won't get on YouTube and see what another streamer is telling me to do. I will execute my trades based upon my strategy. So my current strategy for Bitcoin is to look for opportunities. I still do think that we could potentially have another leg up. Again, I'm not going to be running to put on a short order until the daily does close convincingly below the 21 exponential moving average. If we do go over to MEX, which is where I'm actively trading, if we go down to the lower time frames, I can point out the area where I think we'll have a potential play here in a little bit. Now, we have these two equal lows. I think that this is where short stops are going to be placed, and where also long stops are going to be placed. Excuse me, not short stops. Short stop orders to the downside are going to be placed in this area right here below these two equal lows, and long stop losses are going to be placed in this area. So this is going to be the next area for a liquidity grab. If you are looking to tentatively, if you wanted to trade a counter trend, or if you wanted to be a little bit more risky, this is the area where you would have your buy orders placed. Or potentially you would just be monitoring the market, have an alert set for this area. When price drops down to this area, you don't know how volatile it will wick down, so it becomes difficult to calculate risk management. Now, of course, you can always do something like average true range, which is how I prefer to set trades. So average true range, one average true range projected below, that's only $6. I don't think that's going to be enough. Love you too, honey. Thank you so much for watching the show, baby. I don't think that's going to be enough to really keep you in the trade. So potentially going up to a higher time frame like the 1 hour or the 4 hour, projecting one ATR below price, or even potentially, depending on your risk appetite, 2.5 to 3.1x ATR. That's all in your personal preference and your risk appetite. Personally, I prefer to use a higher time frame, 1x ATR below the swing low, and or I like to establish a range box, which I've demonstrated on this show before. So I'll use something like the depending on what time frame that I determine I'm going to trade on, and what I think is the time horizon for the particular trade. Generally, I do most of my active trading on the 1 hour, the 30 minute, and the 4 hour. Although recently have come to really appreciate the 3 hour chart, honestly, on a lot of assets in cryptocurrency. But that's more experimental for right now, honestly. So one thing that I will commonly do is I will low, and I will project an area of 1 ATR above, 2 ATR below, and 3.5 ATR below. The 1 ATR to 2 ATR is going to establish an entry box for me. So I'll give you an example here. We'll do that for BitMEX here. Do this for XBT on BitMEX. So we have an average true range of about $6, and I'm going to call it 43 cents. I'm going to round up. So we have our swing low at 35.50. Bar. Hold on a second. There we go. So all I've done here, guys, is I've measured from the swing low up 1 ATR, down 2 ATR, and down 3.5 ATR. And what this will allow me to do is construct an entry zone. And remember, the logic behind this is playing off a liquidity grab. This is a playing off liquidity grab entry. Okay, we don't know how far below price will go. All we can do is establish an area where we are comfortable entering and look to manage our risk at an appropriate level. So in this scenario, I have my entry box, and then I will either fairly arbitrarily or fairly non-arbitrarily ladder buys in this area. Either 10, 20, 30, 40 is a pretty appropriate area. So 10 at the top, 20 at the swing low, 30 in the median, so 1 ATR below price. And I'm just going to eyeball it and assume that that's about 1 ATR below price right there. So halfway in between the swing low. So 10, 20, 30, 40, you can ladder limit orders in that way. Remember, of course, you do get paid to use limit orders on MEX. So anybody that is used to trading on Binance and says, again, this is one thing that I don't dollar cost average into a position that is in drawdown for me if I don't have a plan to dollar cost average into a trade. But I will commonly ladder enter a trade. I'll also commonly ladder exit. And this is kind of, I've worked with a lot of people in trading. I've worked with a lot of people in cryptocurrency, and some people that's like completely foreign to, but you don't know how far down or far up price will go. So you take so you take your best bet. You take your best bet, and you manage your risk, and you try to provide all other options. Otherwise, the other way to trade, again, there's many different types of ways. This type of trading is more strategic, where you are attempting to predict where price will go, using price action in this particular example, or you can use whatever metric you want. On this, I'm just using volume and price action. But for your more aggressive, active type trading, generally what you're doing is just breakout trading or breakdown trading, where you're entering on a bullish impulse sign, and then you're just actively monitoring the trade. Perhaps you have an alert set or a particular strategy that you're following, and when the price turns, you market exit. Hey, off-kilter concepts, not your son, buddy, but I appreciate the concept and comment, and that is potentially possible. So if we can go back, if we go back over to this example, let me show you something like an SFP. So here we go. Here's something similar right here. So I've just described a scenario right here where price could potentially go up. Let's go down here to this example right here, where we did have two equal lows, and applying your methodology to that is, well, if we break 3350, then we're going down. Well, what happened? We had an SFP. We had liquidity tapped into, because in this area we had a lot of people trying to sell into a breakdown, and we had a lot of long stops in this area. Everybody that entered in this area had their stop losses placed below the swing low. Or everybody that entered in this area had their stop losses placed below the swing low. Liquidity got cleared out. Price continued to move sideways and then went up. So not saying that's what's going to happen. Obviously, the market structure is a little bit different, but this is a fairly common, repeatable pattern that you do see quite commonly. So for determining which way price is going to go, I'm going to stay off the 30-minute chart. This is just for more active day trading. So this example and scenario that I've just pointed out is going to be for more active day trading. For me personally, I prefer to stick to the daily, the 12-hour, the 8-hour, the 3-day, the weekly, to give me a firm indication of where price is going to go. And based on that, I will not be rushing to enter into a short position until the daily closes below the 21 exponential moving average. I'll get a lot of confirmation with that. Of course, I'll get the bearish crossover on my indicator. Most likely, we'll also enter into a 12-hour bearish trend, and I'll feel much more confident and comfortable taking that position. Not expecting 33.90 to hold at that level. Of course, that level is 34 to 34.10 on MEX. I would not expect that level to hold. The bulls already bought that level up twice, actually 3 times, honestly. So I would not expect that to hold as resistance. Now, And then I just hold my positional short open until such time as I get signs of a market reversal. But I would expect price to at least go down to 3,200, potentially even much lower, because I'm not sure. We can't be sure that we're going to get a positive supportive bounce off 32.25 or 31.21. Thanks, Jess. Hey, we might go to the left if shit gets absolutely crazy, dude. My daughter left. I can swear now. All right. Awesome. All right. So not really rushing in, guys. Just sideways action. Very difficult to trade. Of course, you can be doing your short scalps, as I did last night, because this was the candle that, sorry. So we got to scroll back just a little bit. Make sure that we're being logically consistent. This was the candle. No, this was the candle that we actually got filled on. And then we had this big spike down. Did not set the trailing stop until last night, and then got that hit. So currently out of position on XBT. Taking my little bit of profit, a little less, almost a 1% profit, but whatever, not a big deal. Ethereum was more of a winner for me. Again, I do sometimes prefer to trade Ethereum because it's just more volatile. Sorry, let's look at something here real quick on the 30-minute chart so we can get a more clear indication of where what price is doing. Okay. So let's look at this too. Descending points of control for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days. And then now day 6, we have a pretty equidistant level and point of control. We've attempted to break to the downside. We've tapped into liquidity here. I would not be surprised to see a liquidity play if we do move up. Doesn't mean we have to. It's just a pattern that we do see repeat itself. Currently above the current daily session. So the determining factor in my mind for the short term is if the daily is able to close above 35.96, 3,600. If the daily closes above 3,600, potentially be looking to open up a long entry and looking at this area as support. But for right now, at this point in time, not doing anything. Not doing anything. In this kind of market, I mean, you know, everybody clamors to go long, to go short, to go long, to go short. All you got to do, guys, is wait for. All you got to do is look at the daily. The daily trend is the daily trend had been bullish. So actually, if we go down to the, it doesn't matter what time frame of chart you want to look at. Whether you would have looked at the 3 hour, the 2 hour, the 4 hour, you would have been in this trade on one of these candles. You would have been in a long position on one of these candles, guys. And if you don't have access to my indicator, if you're not in the premium subscription group, then you can just use this little trick, guys. It's called Hikanashi. Bullish trend. Dun, 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 doop. Bearish trend, you're out. Now, do you need to use something a little bit more than just Hikanashi? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. You need to use something a little bit more than Hikanashi. But looking at Hikanashi and not Japanese candlesticks for determining trend, that's what you need to do. Again, I'll repeat this for like the 9,000th time. There's only three. Well, okay. So let me take that back. It's not 3. I would say this is what I was told by somebody that I highly respect, and I agree with them on part of it. So let me just repeat the original statement. And this is what this is what one of my friends and former mentors told me. He told me that he only knows of 3 trading strategies that work. Only 3. That's Hikanashi, Renko, and Ichimoku. That's what he said. That's what he told me a long time ago. He said, that's it, man. Hikanashi, Renko, Ichimoku. Those are the only 3 that work 100%. Now, not to mean you'll get 100% profit, but over time, if you develop a strategy around those methodologies, of course, coming up with the specifics is going to be on your own challenge, do your own research. But, and I do firmly believe that he's wrong, because I think that volume by price works as well in momentum as determined by the Fisher algorithm, are highly indicative of being able to make profitable trades. Because again, Hikanashi is going to be a slightly lagging indicator for quick reversals, because remember, it takes a while for the trend to turn bearish. Now, as we can see here, the bars don't back repaint themselves for Hikanashi. This candle did close green. So you had indications to be in the trade here. And again, didn't matter whether you wanted to look at a 2-hour chart or a 4-hour chart. 4-hour chart would have had you in the trade. 6-hour chart, would have had you in the trade. 8-hour chart would have had you in the trade. Just keep in mind that these are not reflective of actual in the time prices, but they are reflective of the time period. So look at Heikinashi for trend, or look at Renko. Renko takes. I actually prefer Heikinashi is easier. Renko is more tradable, but you do have to understand it. You have to understand it. But you're going to need to pair yourself with some kind of indicator that can tell you when the market is turning. And currently, I haven't found one better than the Fisher transform and why I've programmed my indicator the way I have. Also had help programming divergence, unnatural volume. And there's just many, many ways you can do this. I've been I've been working on this for the last month. And the last week, I've had the latest version done, but I've just been living in Strategy Tester because now I don't really like TradingView Strategy Tester. I'll be honest with you, because it's actually going to execute trades at a little bit offset, and actually sometimes drastically offset, like one candle later than I would actually execute the trade. But it's pretty good for giving you an indication of whether or not you're profitable. Your strategy is profitable. So I am working on automating this, obviously for the premium subscribers. So that's kind of taken a lot of bulk of my work right now. All right. Okay, that's pretty much all I got for Bitcoin today, guys. Price flat, putting in two consecutive point of controls that are fairly equidistant. If this level does hold as support, I see two scenarios: a wick and liquidity grab down below 35.50, but wouldn't be rushing into enter a trade based off that. If the daily does end up closing again, let me be like completely consistent here. If the daily closes below the 21 exponential moving average and the trend turns bearish, I will be looking to enter into a short, but not until then. Period. Okay. Bitcoin, Ethereum. Daily time frame for Mr. Ethereum. Get rid of that. Get rid of this. Make sure we're looking at the right time frame. Okay. Here's my this is based off Fibonacci and also breakers and horizontals. These are my price targets for Ethereum. Short-term targets to the upside are still 130, 128 to 130, and 135 to 140. Actually, sorry, that's too wide of a range. Let me be more logically consistent. For some reason, interesting. Just a second. That's annoying. Anyways, this level coming in from 137 actually to 140, and 128 to 131. Okay, would be the upside targets. We pulled back down here and did an SR slight flip. Why are these levels are annoying me? I don't like them for some reason. They're not scaled to the chart, which is aggravating. Let me try refreshing the page. Hey, what's going on, martial arts dad? Yeah, we can take a look at Bcash today, man. Did you want to look? Bcash SV, right? Beautiful world. Donkey Man, how do I get that indicator? You can join the premium trading group, my friend. You get access to that. Coming out soon, Quadrigo ATR, my moving averages indicator, and lots of other fun, fantastic stuff. What the heck is going on? I knew that TradingView was talking about making an update, but oh, I see what they did. I do not like this TradingView. I guess it's okay. Changes. Changes, going through changes. Did I look at ZERP Bitcoin? Nope, not yet. No. Bcash, ABC, not that fake Dogecoin. All right, man. We'll look at the we'll look at the real fake Bitcoin, man. Not the fake Bitcoin. No problem, man. Okay, so Ethereum US dollar on MEX on the daily time frame. Now this is a little bit more of a spinning top doji that I like on the other side. Evening Star, currently an Evening Star daily candle. Pretty good reversal pattern right there. The lower time frames don't look too bad, but of course we do have to trade off the higher time frames. Haven't gotten the confirmed cross under on the Fisher yet, on the time transformation. And we're also still, believe it or not, still have a bit of a bullish trend to the daily. This is exactly kind of what I talked about. Ethereum, just like Bitcoin, kind of sandwiched in between the 21 daily exponential moving average and the daily 55 exponential moving average. So, I'm just going to be patient here a little bit, guys. Took that trade to the upside for Ethereum. Not really eager to hop back in a position either. Just looking at obviously, look, Bitcoin leads the charge on Ethereum. So Ethereum does what Bitcoin does. Just Ethereum just moves more rapidly. We don't have as much data to go off with Ethereum because we haven't had multiple tests of resistance like we have had with Ethereum. What we do know though is that unlike Bitcoin, Ethereum has made strides above its resistance a little bit more significantly and a little bit more volatilely. That's why, again, Ethereum does become the more interesting to trade. So let's just be logically consistent in what we're trying to say here. The daily making a very valiant struggle to close above the 55 exponential moving average, but currently getting rejected. So what would I need to see to be entering into a short position? Let's go down to a lower time frame and take a look here, guys. I'd say the earliest one that I would have to see, the 12-hour, I quite like that. If I'm going to be logically consistent with how I'm actually looking to trade this, I mean, the reality of the situation is I won't be looking at Ethereum's price independently. I'm pretty much going to be waiting for Bitcoin to do exactly what I said I wanted it to do, which is, as I said, above or below, above or below. And we'll kind of see how today plays out as well. Right now, everybody's just kind of running to get into a position, and that's not me, man. That's not me. We had a good trade to the upside here, good trade to the upside here, good trade to the downside here, good trade to the upside here, and now we'll just wait. We'll just wait and be patient, guys. Biased to be looking for opportunities to get back in an Ethereum long. Got my opportunity yesterday, but took my profits. So let's go down to the 30-minute time frame and see if we can make some sense of this. Yeah, the Ethereum VPSV looking a little bit more positive than Bitcoin, honestly. So Bitcoin consecutive lower lows, and then finally putting in that flat equidistant lower low. Whereas with Ethereum, we were in a downtrend, then we had a nice double spike back up, consolidated in this level for a little bit, and now we're trying to hold this previous level as support. Getting above the daily VPSV, getting above the sessions VPSV at around 121, you can look to be a little bit more bullish. If we end up closing down below this level, then this would be kind of be a wipe out of this level of support. You can look to take a scalp short down to the lower level of support. Using VPSV makes things pretty simple. These things are magnets, guys. The problem is this level's already been tested right here. This level's already been tested for liquidity. The level that has not been tested yet is just this current one, because this one now has, we can consider this tested. This VP price did come back down and retest the point of control of yesterday's session, grabbed it for liquidity. Just like we saw here. So we have these three actually, fairly equidistant lows. Logic would tell you if we go below that, we're going down. Just like right over here, we have two fairly equidistant lows. Logic would tell you if we break below that, we're going lower. It's not what happened. We put in an SFP, liquidity grab, price went up. So same thing here, man. We've seen liquidity grabs to the downside, liquidity grabs to the upside, man. The market's just range bound until we break a significant level of support and resistance. And with Ethereum's price inching up, I'm more biased to think that it's going to break a significant level of support, or excuse me, a significant level of resistance. So we do have a range high coming in around 125.36. We did have that SFP just recently, that swing failure pattern. The high of that candle was actually 125.60. So actual current range high is 125.60, but we can just quote this one if we want. Break of this level, break of this level. Just pretty much the same thing that I said earlier, guys. I said if the daily does end up closing below 114, 115, then I wanted to be looking for a short position. That's what I posted out in the members lounge, just based off. Right there, we can see it on the lower time frames. Just based off the SR test. So we came down, tested previous resistance as support, price moved up, currently experiencing resistance at this current range right here, breakdown zone right here that acted as resistance right here, confirm resistance right here. And that's all we're trying to do, man. Break to the upside. We've got upside targets here. Speculatively here. I don't think we're going to be able to hit these higher targets until after we tap into liquidity. Now, breakage below that level, if we do end up going below 114 and this level fails as support, then I'm going to be pyramiding into short positions, and I'm going to be looking to add at 100. This is going to be an initial take profit zone. If we end up blasting through that, then I won't take profit. I'll just add to my position. I'll just add to my position after that, potentially adding to my position after $80. And then this is my low side target for Ethereum, $55 to $65. And this is another initial take profit target as well. So prepared for the downside and prepared for the upside, guys. Yeah, UT3 Pass, it's available to all the subscribers to the Kraken Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group. So is Quadrigo ATR, CC EMA, which, to be fairly honest, is not that spectacular. The next strategies that we're working on are going to be, and sorry, I like catchy names, but Midas Touch. I've been working on that. That's actually a strategy that I trade. It's actually going to be a reference. So if you guys want to see one particular strategy that I trade quite frequently, my setup looks like this. The MACD is not an inherent part of this actually, but I've been experimenting around with it. Generally, I use time transformation. Without the bells and whistles, I just like this right here. So this is a glimpse into how I spend a lot of my days actively trading. Except this is the daily. And so I'm working on implementing this into a strategy. Dr. Fazoana, Dr. Faz says, this market is made to make Bitcoin to decouple from altcoins by shaking as many as possible out. Then once Bitcoin is decoupled from all that chaff, we can take off slowly but surely in 2022. Well, man, I hope we start accumulating before then. I'd really like to start seeing accumulation around August, but hey, you know what? Anything's possible. That's why I prepared to be to the downside. So listen, guys, bear market, guys. Am I a little excited right now for the current, for a little bit more squeeze to the upside? Yes, but let's just be realistic about what's going on here, guys. Always looking for the bears to attack at any moment and looking to get back in my nice positional short, guys. So probably one of the best things you could probably do right now is be neutral, be in cash, be in fiat, and wait for a strong market movement. It's just that here's the thing, man. Those have been so rare lately. Those have really been so rare. If we go back and look at, let's just look at Bitcoin and let's just be realistic about the market that we're trading in, guys. Let's go look at the weekly time frame on Bitcoin. All right. What do we see over here? All right. Since 2015, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows for like 3 fucking years, man. For like 3 years. Okay. And then what do we see now? Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. All right. So the position to be up or long, the position to be short, down. And then when we enter scenarios like this, best position to be not in a position because you're going up and you're going down, you're going up, you're going down. I know a lot of people are very successful at trading range bound markets. I wouldn't say that I'm terrible at it. I'm better at trading trending environments. I'm better at trend trading strategies. That's always been my strong point. That's why I created something like time transformation to help me out with range bound markets. Again, when we break resistance or support, as you can see right here, when we enter into an environment like this where we're just range bound, which is exactly what's going on right now, guys. It's exactly what's going on. When we do break one way or the other, okay, there's plenty of time and opportunity to get into a position. Don't be obsessed with buying the bottom or shorting the top. That's really, honestly, that's for gamblers, okay? So, nothing wrong with being patient, waiting for confirmation. I do want to look at Litecoin, and then we'll look at ZERP, man. I want to look at Litecoin. Looking at Litecoin on the daily time frame. Here's Litecoin. Here's Litecoin USDT. Litecoin USDT. Sorry, daily time frame. Daily time frame. Litecoin USDT. Just shuffling along sideways. We have entered into a bearish 12-hour trend. So potentially looking to put on shorts. I think that the next level that we're going to need to come down and test, let's actually go to the 12-hour chart so we can see this a little bit more clearly. Let's throw on VPSV. And we can just see very clearly the next level that we need to come down to. We had aggressive initiation at this point right here. Potentially another area that we could look to take profits on a short position. Of course, we can't short USDT, but just looking at this for a general frame of reference. The next areas that we can be looking for potential entry is going to be 38.89. The area that I'm going to be keeping my eye on is 37.54 and this range right here. Retest of the 12-hour 200 exponential. Let's go see if the daily does give us any lines up with that. Yes. Retest of pretty much all our exponentials on the daily time frame. We've got our 100 exponential coming in right there. We're looking to have our 21 give us the nice cross over the 100 exponential moving average. The simple golden is what I call it. We've got the 21 above the 55. 21's about to cross above the 100 exponential as well. I do think that Litecoin seems to be on its way down in the short term, and then we'll look to see if we do continue the bullish trend on a retest of that resistance, or if we do break out of the sideways pattern that we're in right now, although pretty significantly heading, in my personal opinion, to the downside. Now, since I'm going to be trading that to the downside here, let's be a little bit more specific about what I'm going to be looking for. Oh man, I'm freaking starving. Oh, did not eat enough for breakfast this morning. Okay. But before we do that, I'm going to go check on some coins that I'm keeping my eye on. Nope. Meh. Yeah. All right. Almost. 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 No. No. Sorry. Nah. No volume to confirm it, unlike we did over here. So you might be asking yourself, hey, Justin, look, your indicator's telling us to buy here, 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 and here, which is fine if you're dollar cost averaging. But look what I've programmed in here. Boom. See that little yellow diamond right at the bottom when you get the buy signal? That's unnatural volume, telling you that there's a lot more weight behind your thing. Oh, guess what else? Look at that. Regular. Here, let me zoom in on my indicator here, guys, so you can really see like how much work I put into this. Okay, you get the buy signal right here. The little green triangle. Hey, keep your eyes open for a buy. We're getting oversold. Okay. The yellow triangles confirm when you do get a cross with unnatural volume. Actually, they print whenever you get unnatural volume. So you're looking for that in conjunction. Oh, and look at that. Regular divergence. Boom. Divergence right there on that candle. You would have been in here, and the indicator told you to sell here. This is 0x on the 3-hour chart. So I know one of my guys is playing 0x right now. Actually, two of them are. One subscriber and actually one analyst is it just got some 0x. So I can only assume the double bottom play. Let's look at the daily. SR flip test? Yeah. I could see it. Yeah, tight. I could see it. I mean, it's just logical. Yeah. Seems logical, yeah. I can dig it. 77 sats. Make it 80. Be managing risk pretty tight. Nah, I don't really like it though. I don't really like it, I'm not gonna lie. Let's look at the Great FOMO over time here while we're over here real quick, sorry. Maybe. Maybe, baby. Well, BNB, ATH. And we did hit the 786 extension from the last swing high to swing low. Yep, 786. All right, checking back in with Litecoin. Okay. LTCH19. VPSV. Now you guys can see the area that I want to be. You guys can see the area that I'm interested in right here. Now, as for when to actually enter the position, ideally, okay, so let's go to another 30-minute time frame. Ideally, I would like to see. It's over 9,000. It is over 9,000, man. Thank you so much. I want to thank everybody. Oh, sorry. Let me take a brief pause here for the cause. Jay Hoodie, Tristan Slabber, Peter Couchman, Kostya Yaremtso, Charles Polidori. Thanks so much for the subs on YouTube, guys. Highly appreciated. Thanks so much for joining the community. If we head on over to, where is that? Ah, here we are. Well, shoot. Recent events. Buster Chen and Jack K23. Thanks so much for the follows on Twitch, guys. Highly appreciate it. All right. So we come down into an area of managing risk with LTCH19 to the downside. So we're here, and we want to get here. We want to get here. But we don't want to go here first, which I think is potential. So there's a couple ways you can play this, depending on what time frame you want to trade on. If we get another close below the VPVR, then traditional strategy would tell you to go ahead and enter into your short position and set your stop loss. I would do at least one ATR above. So that's 9,361 sats. So like that. Boom. Daily close below the session's point of control. You can set your stop loss there. You can also set your stop loss. I mean, you can set your stop loss right there if you just want to be tighter, depending on how your logic and what your risk appetite is. Again, I do not set my stop losses directly above or below swing lows. They always go up a little bit. Period. So that would be traditional logic. That would be not breakdown, but confirmation of breakdown after the retest. Alternatively, the areas that I would like to be that I would like to place limit orders, it would be this area right here and this area right here. Grabs for liquidity. So coming in around like 1190 and also 1220. Doesn't mean that price gets back up to those levels. It just means that after this, that's the area that I'd like to enter. So keep my eye on LTCH19 right now, not in a position right now. So that's the plan. Okay, moving on to ZERP. Let's see if ZERP did anything. Okay, there we go. While I've got Tron pulled up right here, here's Tron on the 3-hour chart. Getting a nice little supportive bounce off the low point of control that we put in after hitting my take profit target at 637. Still would like to see price come down here to 575. 575. Right around this region right here. One thing to keep your eye on though with TRX H19 is that you do have this as yet untested trend line. So keep my eyes on that bad boy. But I would like this to come down. Now, in the interim, in the short term, what can you kind of be keeping your eye on? I know a lot of people were pretty eager. And guys, keep in mind that I've been short since right about here. 745, sorry. So in our initial, let's see here. 652, if memory serves correctly. I'd have to go back and check my logs. 637 was the next profit target for that. So we hit that quite nicely. Now, on the 3-hour chart, we are seeming to want to make a little bit of a run upwards. What are the things that I'm keeping my eyes on? So far, nothing but a double rejection from resistance right here, and not even able to make an SFP. We are making that little bit of, remember we talked about this a little bit, accumulation, test resistance, higher low, potential breakout possibility. But for right now, we're being governed by the point of control right here. I want to see how price reacts to this. If we get rejected from here, then cool. If we maybe close above here and do a little springboard action, especially on something like the daily. So we see the daily point of control right here, still below the daily point of control on the daily time frame. Then potentially I'll look to enter. We do see that we have entered into a bullish trend on the daily time frame. So I'm going to be a little bit more patient. I've already locked in some pretty good profits with my TRXH19 short, especially after doubling up. And so it's going to take a pretty bullish pronouncement for me to be out of the trade, which is going to be the daily closing above the point of control. So 674, 675. All righty. Scott, I like how your Discord says streaming us. That's pretty cool the way you did that. All right. XRP. Here we go. Well, looking at the weekly, man, I got to be looking for the long position. You know, I was really, really hoping I'd get my cheeky buy, dude, but it's just not going to happen. I just don't think it's going to happen. The weekly trend hasn't flipped. Doesn't take a genius to see that. What just happened? That's right. You better behave. The weekly trend hasn't flipped yet, but more often than not, when we do see price on a longer time frame come down to support and then just do absolutely nothing and go flat, typically we look for a bounce. Guys. It doesn't mean that we're going to bounce, but it just means that the dominant trend has hit a snag. So you know, obviously on the weekly time frame, shorts have just been running train on us. I mean, for the past 2 months. And now they hit this level where they've hit a little snag. Now this did happen on the 14th of January, the week of the 14th of January. And we did just continue to the downside, and then we had that pretty crazy 10% pump that just completely continued to reject. Now, keep this in mind. We have not broken the bullish trend lines yet. We haven't broken the weekly 21 exponential moving average or the weekly 55 exponential moving average. And if you guys recall, the areas that I was targeting to potentially get in on a cheeky spot position on XRP to refill my bags was 80, 37, 80, 50, actually, if I were to be logically consistent. It had 7,500, 7,510. I'm not sure if we're going to go down that low, at least in the... Who the heck is this? Somebody is texting me. Oh, I know who this is. Yeah, we haven't broken the weekly support levels yet. 3-day, we have broken the 21 exponential moving average. The 21 exponential average starting to curve down a little bit, and we are sitting on that 55 exponential moving average. So gives us a little bit of a pause. 24-hour time frame did just give us a buy signal yesterday, and then we had that nice little run up. Obviously, we took XRP to the upside. We made about a nice little 1.5% off that. And so we'll just see daily. We're coming up on the 200 exponential moving average as well. I haven't broken that. However, we do have all our lower time frames turning down and pointing down. So what does this mean? What does this mean? Directionally, positionally, we're still in a short position, haven't gotten confirmation. But if we're looking for a spot to take a cheeky counter trend trade, now is the time. This is the time that we let it go. I love that song. I don't know if anybody knows that song. It's a good one. XRP Oost. Weekly time frame. Weekly time frame for XRP USDT. Of course, this is all the market data that we have to go against. You can see again where the indicator just really nailed it right here. Boom. And then giving us unnatural volume here on this hanging man candle for the weekly. Pretty good opportunity to get out of your trade right there. Just got to use your common sense there. And then unnatural volume when you should be entering into your short position. Honestly, the last month and a half, pretty flat, man. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks. 5 weeks of just flatness and ranging price action. Sitting on previous, kind of in the vicinity of the previous level of support. kind of again, you haven't you're not bullish on the weekly by any means, shape or form. Are you bullish on the weekly? In fact, in fact, a stronger case is probably to be made for a bearish positional trade on this. So not bullish on the weekly in any way, shape, or form. Still not potentially looking to. Still not. So let me rephrase that again. I know I say a lot of stuff, guys, but it depends on how you want to trade. Do you want to be a day trader? Do you want to be an investor? Do you want to be a counter trend trader? Do you want to wait for trend confirmation? That's why I point all this stuff out so you guys can take all the data sets. If you guys want to actually see how I trade and put in my positions, premium.krakencryptocurrency.com. Link is in the description down below. 3-day time frame is absolutely flat as well. You can see we got the buy signal here. A natural volume followed. We got a natural volume here. Ding, ding, ding. Got a good buy signal here as well. We got the divergence on there as well. So if you miss this buy signal, then you get the regular bullish divergence on that 3-day candle as well. All right. Yeah, I don't like this crap. It's 100% flat, and I like trade, and I want to take a trade for the USDT pair. Daily time frame, closing below the 21 exponential moving average, looking like we're interacting with the 21 exponential moving average so far, but unable to close above it in a convincing fashion. Just this kind of whipsaw up, down pattern, man. Meh. We got some good buy signals here and divergence. Got a good buy signal here, but no divergence or volume to really justify it. Of course, you could have taken the stab. It's all good. Everything flashed buy on this. Doesn't matter what indicator you use. So it kind of looks like the last 2 days of this looks like the last 2 days of Bitcoin. Honestly, liquidity grab to the downside, liquidity grab to the upside. The 4-hour chart. Trying to see if I can't find you a position, man. Yeah, I don't like it, man. I don't like it. Nah, man. First thing I'm going to be looking for, daily time frame. Daily time frame closing above the 21 exponential moving average. I'd really, I mean, with ZERP where it's at right now, I mean, yeah, price is low. Price is low. Is it an attractive price to buy? But guess what, guys? In a bear market, price can just go lower. Now, again, I think if Bitcoin tanks, I think ZERP can have a nice run up. But it's nice to wait for confirmation. Daily closing above the 21 exponential moving average would be nice to see. The 3-day closing above the 21 would be very, very nice. The weekly closing above the 21 exponential moving average would be very nice as well. I think that if the weekly closes above the 21 exponential moving average again, assuming that we don't get whipsawed like we did here, then actually let's go to our daily. Daily, we do have potential resistance coming in right here at 32 cents, and then not really again until 35, 36 cents. So I think if the daily closes above the 21 exponential moving average, we might be able to hold out for 34 cents just in the short term. That's nice right there in a low volume node right there. Good area to retest. Yeah, kind of my thought too, Jasper. Hey, Mustafa, what's going on, man? Caribbean Crypto Show? Nothing, man. You missed me announcing the trade that is going to make you a crypto billionaire. And you can't rewind it and watch it, man. Sorry. That's what you get for walking away, man. Well, glad I took my profit on Ethereum when I did. All right. Hour and 25 minutes into the show, and what are we going to talk about now? So, how are you guys? Come here often? You want to hang out? I'm just kidding. All right, let's look at Gotta wait. Gotta wait. I was asleep for all this. Lovely. Dot to you too, Aga's Salon Sky. Anyways, okay. Chill out, man. Power Ledger, and then somebody asked me, Texas Blues, hey, what's going on, my dude? If I could please give a quick explanation of how I interpret the bid-ask sum chart, I would be grateful. Cheers. Sure. Now, keep in mind, let's go over to News Big Chat. Keep in mind, I'm only going to be able to speak to my initial interpretation of the bid-ask sum. I'm sure that there are many, many, many ways in which you could potentially trade this. You'd have to do a lot of experimentation and backtesting. To kind of see what potential strategies that you can wheedle out of this. For me personally, since I rely so much on price action, I just use this as a leading indicator to kind of tell me what's going on in the order books, because I don't believe in order flow trading. That's just me. That's just me. Okay, so what we're looking at here is the combined order book, the number of bids to asks on any individual exchange that we're looking at. So typically what I do is when I load this up, I'm going to look at all exchanges, which is actually going to default to Bitfinex. Now, you can hit auto if you want. I don't really like auto. I get a lot more information on the hourly. The hourly actually brings me up to the current second. If you look at auto, it's going to put you back in time for some reason that I really haven't figured out. Hourly, the daily is the same thing, going to push you back in time. The weekly is going to push you even further back in time. So keeping up to date on the hourly is going to give you the best indication that you can see. Now, this is going to be indicative of Bitcoin's price. The gray line is Bitcoin's price. The red line is the number of asks in the order book, and the green line is the number of bids in the order book. So, typically when the bid-ask sum, when bids rise above asks, generally an indication that you want to start buying. Another way that this can be seen as an indication of accumulation. So as we can see here, price is on the decline. And then when price gets to about here, when price gets to this level, we see the bids just start skyrocketing. And what is this telling us? That there's a lot of buying going on. There's a lot of buying going on, and you can see this reflected in price because price is rising. And then the bids are high. Everybody's buying in. And then somewhere around this level, pretty much everybody figures out that they've accumulated. And then what happens? The bids just completely drop off the map. As the asks rise, press price down and kick out anybody that tried to accumulate in this zone. And then it happens to price. Price moves up fairly significantly, guys. So this is a key aspect. This is something that's very important to be watching for. You want to be watching for. So here's the thing. You're going to see accumulation when it happens, especially on a big rise like this. And this is not a 100% foolproof indicator, man. This is not a 100% foolproof indicator. Because sometimes you'll see price evaluate and then dump, and then it just keeps going lower. Okay. So all you were seeing was very short term. And one of the key indications of that can be like volume. Did volume just like completely smash out of the market? If volume completely smashed out of the market, then it's generally an indication that price is going to continue going down. Has volume been accumulating for a while and price has been kind of rising, and then we have a sharp dip, but the volume's still the same? More than likely, a little bit of manipulation trying to get price to go down. So when we're looking at the bid-ask sum, again, the most general basic way to buy this is to be looking to buy when the bids cross the asks. As you can see, that would have worked out for you quite well. And then just look to sell when the asks cross the bids. You can see here where that would have not worked out for you. This is why you need to use price action as well as some kind of other indication to tell you to sell. But overall, what do we see? What do we see here? Looking at the last 30 days, we do see a lot more buying of Bitcoin. Even in between 3.8K to 3.4K, we see a lot more buying than we see selling. So this is on Bitfinex, which is like notoriously bullish. So it's always good to couch this in between three exchanges. So I look at Bitfinex, BitMEX, which is always going to be more bearish than bullish, almost always, and Coinbase. So I look at those three exchanges. I look at 2 spot and 1 futures. So same thing for futures right here. When you see the asks go above the bids, typically a good area to go short. As you can see, this would have been a good indication, a good area to go short right here. And then when you finally see what's a good time to exit your short, right about here, when you see the bids go above the asks, would have been a great time to exit your short, to take profit on your short from right around here, and to enter into a long position, because this happened. And price skyrocketed. So bids are still quite higher than asks, which now when we're looking at futures, there is the psychology to be able to trade off of. Typically, when we see futures, when we see long positions very high at the top of a movement, it's typically an indication that price is likely to reverse, especially if we can correlate that with bull-bear income, which we can do on Bitger. With Bitcoin margin trading sentiment, we can actually see the profitability of long positions. Now to understand this, you have to put yourself in the psychology of a bull or a profitable position. In this market where everybody's just terrified of losing money because they don't want price to just go against them 20% in an hour, what are you likely to do if you're in a very profitable position? You're likely to take profit. You're likely to think that odds are if you just sit on your hands that your profits are going to be eroded away. You're likely to take profit. Now, whether this is smart trading or not smart trading, the reality of the situation remains that when you're trend trading, when you're following a strong trend, that's typically when you want to sit on your hands. Hey, DL, what's going on, man? Do I trade anything else besides crypto? So not actively, because trading crypto and working on my company just takes too much time and effort and energy. I have traded, I started off trading stocks and options. I graduated to trading Forex, and then I graduated to trading cryptocurrency in 2016. I've been doing that full time since then, as well as running my business and educating individuals on how to trade. If there was something that I'd like to trade, I would like to go back. I would like to get back to trading. I'd like to trade crude oil, and I'd like to trade gold and palladium again. Those would be interesting to trade. I have investments in other things as well. I have some real estate. I have passive investments in some other assets as well. What do I think about the Bitcoin Rich List website? Is it real? Yes, it is real. But to take profit, we need to have a huge position to start with. No. I don't understand. If you're in a profitable position, you take profit. The largeness of your position size is going to depend upon your portfolio capital. Yeah, we'll talk about EOS, guys. Do I listen to any podcasts or specific people? Just curious. Any recommendations? Yeah, I like Ivan on Tech. And actually, even though he's not, he's kind of controversial, but I like listening to Adam Meister sometimes. He's got some pretty good insights. I'm a big fan of Peter Schiff, the Peter Schiff podcast I listen to. Ben Shapiro, Andrew Klavan when I get some time. Let's see. What are some other interesting podcasts that I've come across? Oh man. Here, let me, I haven't had the time to listen to a lot of podcasts lately. I used to listen to them while I worked, but lately they've been distracting me a little bit more, mainly because I've been coding, and when I'm coding, I need silence. Let me see if I have my podcast catcher on this phone. I don't. I have it on this phone. Don't make fun of my chair, guys. One thing you guys need if you're going to be doing a lot of trading, is a very comfortable chair and fast internet connection. Okay, here we go. I got my podcast catcher on this phone. Let's see here. What am I following? I used to listen to Ledgercast. Scott recommended to me the MF CEO project. For some fun stuff, guys. Check out Welcome to Night Vale. It's a fantastic, funny podcast. Bitcoin and Markets, obviously, by Ansel Linder. I think he does some great work. Trace Mayer has Bitcoin Knowledge, the Bitcoin Knowledge podcast. Used to like listening to Crypto Bobby a little bit. He's a pretty funny guy, but Clay Collins has got the Flippening. That's a pretty good podcast, or used to be anyways. Chat. Actually, if you guys want my favorite podcast for trading, it's Chat with Traders. It's Chat with Traders by Aaron Fifield. That's the best one. Stay away from stuff like the Bad Crypto podcast and Crypto Cousins and all that stuff, man. I think that stuff's kind of garbage. Philosophize This, the Joe Rogan Experience, Waking Up with Sam Harris, Tides of History, Louder with Crowder. Yeah, man. I don't have as much time to listen to those as I'd like to, but especially Waking Up with Sam Harris, Joe Rogan, and then Louder with Crowder when I need a good laugh. Trayvon James. Has he got a podcast? Well, thanks for joining us, man. Happy to get you over here. Hey, I'm good, Yang. How you doing, bro? Your crypto heart's broken, Caribbean. We're here for you, man. I like watching the Cambridge House arguments from the big whales on stage. Hey, I'll check that out, man. Ooh, Scott, you're going to put us on the podcatcher? Nice. Yeah, I have passive investments in gold and oil. JF Airplane says, I got a tiny position on EOS and you were up 160%. Now you're at 30%. I know I can be liquidated, but could I miss the bigger reward by leaving it? So here's my personal ideology. I have no idea, and so I have to be very, very careful with when I say things like this, because all I can talk about is how I would manage trades and put on positions. So actually, we can go here and bring this baby on down and look at EOS. Okay. All right. EOS daily Heikinashi is bullish. Hourly chart. We have the momentum. Hourly chart has the momentum. Renko, printing red bricks. You should be out of a long position. Should have been out right here. This is when the strategy would have told you to be out of the trade. Now, since the daily Heikinashi is green and we have the hourly momentum, you're waiting for another entry position. You're waiting for Renko to print another green brick. Pretty simple, man. I'll give you guys that one for free. Or I mean, very simply, you're looking to pick up on retests of the hourly 21 exponential moving average. Now, if we go, let's go take a bigger term look at EOS so we can evaluate price action. Let's go look at EOS Bitcoin. Okay. Well, depending on how you want to look at it, man. You know, EOS has been one of the better performers. EOS has been one of the better performers. That's not going to be logically accurate if I do that. I don't even think I want to do that. I hate trend lines. Don't necessarily think they work, so I'm just going to ignore them. No, let's not though. Okay. I just want to throw up something for the purposes of demonstration. So, a couple lines that you can kind of go off here, man. We can see where EOS initially ran into resistance here, as well as here, previous areas of liquidity. Held down and hovered around the support level as well. This was our daily breaker. This level right here was our daily breaker. We broke that level. Then we had another daily breaker right here. We broke that level. So yeah, potentially, man. But if you were up $160 or 160%, and now you're down to 30, you need to use a much tighter trailing stop, man. That's what I like to do with parabolic movements like this. I mean, even if it doesn't matter what time frame you're trading on. 3-hour time frame, you just throw in that chandelier stop, man. 3.1, 3.5 ATR, 2.5, whatever your risk management is. If you get kicked out of your trade, you wait for a bullish retracement and you look to re-enter. So we drew that descending trend line, man. We drew that descending trend line, which we broke out and broke over. Let's see how price reacts to that, as well as the SR flip right here. See, we had resistance. We had resistance right here. This is our daily breaker. We're coming back down to retest our daily breaker. We'll see if we can take that to the upside, man. So if you were trying to follow a strong trend, I mean, I wouldn't be out of the trade, but it depends on when you entered into the trend. Depends on when you entered into the trend. I mean, most people that weren't able to get in down here. Did a lot of people get in here? Did a lot of people get in here when we broke above resistance? That's when you should have. What am I using in my indicator to determine unnatural volume? I think I'm going to go ahead and hold that close to the vest. No offense, man. Do I listen to The Modern Investor on YouTube? No. Scott does, though. Yeah, I mean, you know, JF Airplane, that's all something that you have to determine, man. So I know a lot of people, like when I used to trade in Forex, I started off doing what a lot of people do in Forex, which is like predetermined entry and exit and trailing stop. Or, you know, like, so for example, I scalped Forex using VPSV. So when an entry position of mine would get hit, I would already have, and this was all automated, I would already have a stop loss and a take profit level that was that was automatic. Like, so let's say my stop loss was 8 pips, my take profit was 20 pips, right? Didn't matter. That's scalping. 8 pips, 20 pips, like for example. And I know people that trade crypto that way too. You know, like 30-minute time frame. My stop loss for LTCH 19 on a 30-minute time frame is going to be 100 ticks. Take profit's going to be 300 ticks. It's whatever. It's however you guys want to trade. And if you guys don't know what ticks are, if you hold shift and click on your computer on a cryptocurrency, this number in commas to the right there is ticks. So the first number is sats, then percentages, then ticks. Okay. And when you're doing something like strategy testing, when you're doing something like strategy testing and you're looking to implement take profits and stop losses as well as trailing stops, you do have to write them in as ticks. So it's good to get that understanding. Yeah, man. So if you want to have that predetermined strategy, where if you if you go up 20%, you take profit. There's nothing wrong with that, man. And it's going to be, it would be inappropriate of me to recommend to you what's going to work for you. All I can tell you is I don't do that. I did in Forex. I've traded like that. I prefer to use, I prefer to try to enter into trends upon signs of bullish reversal, especially if I spot divergence or unnatural volume. And then I will have very short-term targets, but I won't set hard take profits generally. I'll wait until price reaches those areas. If I see price stalling out or failing and getting confirmed rejection from those areas, then usually I'll take profits at that level. And then if we end up breaking above those levels, I'll generally market re-enter or look to re-enter for a breakout trade. And then once I've got confirmation that we're in a bullish trend and we've broken past several resistances, I'll often just set a trailing stop, 3.5x ATR, man. And then I'll just keep tabs on it. And if I see significant signs of a bullish reversal with divergence or unnatural volume, then I'll look to take profit. So let's look and see if we see any of those conditions on EOS, for example. 3-hour time frame, we did get the sell signal. We don't have divergence. We don't have unnatural volume. Last time we had some unnatural volume was right here. That's adjustable too in the indicator, guys. You can't adjust your volume multiplier. So if we bring that down a little bit, we did get unnatural volume leading up to the sell-off, as well as indications that this is a potential sell area right here. And this is the 3-hour time frame, which works very nicely with time transformation, honestly. So yeah, I'd be out of the position, man. I don't know if I'd necessarily be short on this and trading against the underlying trend. I think that you got another little 5% at least to the downside, or excuse me, another like little 2% to the downside. And then if you break this SR breaker, man, then yeah, next level I'd be looking to. Well, let's take a look. If you break this SR breaker, man, I mean your next levels to test are going to be here. That's 4% to the downside, and then obviously down here, about 10% to the downside. Yeah, you're below the daily session. This is going to be your level of resistance, and this is going to be your next stop right here. 76.41. We'll see how price interacts with that. If price is able to rally and close above the or start trading above the sessions point of control at 79.09, your next level of resistance is going to be up here at 81.28. Yeah. So I don't code by nature, man. I have devs that really help me out with everything. So no, I mean I know HTML and a little stuff, and honestly, I'm trying to expand my knowledge in that better. I'm actually pretty decent in Pine, so which is kind of an interesting approach because I didn't really know any programming languages before Pine. So it's kind of a small passion of mine. In fact, it's something that I think that if I end up being able to retire when I want to, in 15, 20 years, then I'm probably going to look to code in my ripe old age, but might just enjoy life, man. I've been working hard. Thanks, Jay Constant. I appreciate it, man. Yeah, Komodo, you know what? Komodo is kind of like a sty in my eye, man, because I was looking at it. I was looking at Komodo last night, and I was like, this looks like a good buy. I should snag this. And then I didn't. I was really tired last night working on my strategy tester, finishing it up. And, I woke up in a pump, but it's whatever, man. Shit like that happens every day. There's always going to be another pump. All right, it's 1:50, guys. I gotta take a run into town after the show today. I got to go grab some supplies. Remember, guys, I live out in the middle of nowhere where nobody can find me. So that means I have to make the arduous task once a week, man. Yeah, hey, Ninja, that's something our team's actively working on. What's my go-to breakfast? Oh man, my go-to breakfast every time is 2 eggs and sausage, man. 2 eggs and sausage, my dude. No toast. No toast. Thoughts on XLM? Not yet, man. Hey, you too, DL. Appreciate you in here, man. You're welcome anytime. Check out the Discord if you want, man. Discord.krakencryptocurrency.com. All right, guys, that's about all I got for today. Well, okay, so to be specific, Ninja, we have a few algos that are running. Again, I don't believe in order flow analysis. We're running an order flow. We have an order flow trader on MEX for XBT USD. Nick Crypto and Moon. Yeah, I am on the keto diet, Steve. How did I locate developers where I live? They're all people that I've known for a long time. I didn't go online to search them out, man. Thanks, Ninja. I appreciate it, man. Oh, power. Yeah, okay, I'll take a quick look, man. Take a quick look. You know, I'll be honest with you, man. A justification for a trade on this is going to be similar to one I took recently. I'm going to bet 786 Fibonacci retracement. Yep, 786 Fibonacci retracement. This level's held for a triple test. You currently got some sideways VPVR point of control recently. You know, this is potential accumulation, man. You got the spring. This could be the last point of supply. Really, the only way to trade this potentially is wait for the breakout right here at this level, 24.33. And then typically when you buy the 786, you target the 382. You buy the 786 and you target the 382. You can wait for confirmation of that and buy the breakout, or you can look to accumulate now in this zone right here. Again, not a recommendation to buy. Just looking at the logic of that with you. And then you can manage risk below the swing low right here. Something like what's ATR? 44 sats. You can go higher or lower on your time frame. I'm just on the 3 hour, so something like this. You can manage risk right there, man. Hey, Steve H, if you want to hit me up in the Discord, man, I'd be happy to walk you through that, man. All the information is, of course, on the website. So premium subscribers get access to all the signals and setups and trades that all the analysts and traders for Kraken Cryptocurrency take. You get access to our database library, which has webinars, courses, workbooks, PDFs, everything that you need to supplement your information and knowledge. You also get access to our private webinar series designed to teach you to be a profitable trader. Using our strategies, tips, and tricks. We start with risk management and then get into technical analysis. So a little converse to where most people start, because managing your money is actually more important than understanding what a trend line is. You also get access to the members chat, the members lounge chat room, and in the private Discord, the day trading VIP voice chat channel, our technical analysis channels, our market update and insights channels, all our resources and references, our live tracking sheet. You get your own customizable trade journal. And access to my indicators, as well as access to the trading bot when it is done. Man, I don't know, Jay Constant. It's possible. I'm inclined to take Ethereum to the upside, but I'm just gonna wait. I'm just gonna wait and see. Wait and see to re-enter. Again, I got to run to town, so the only active position I happen open right now is my long-term TRX short. I don't see any changes on that. Well, I entered into a position during the stream. But I'll let you guys figure that one out. And then I got a couple altcoin trades that I'm scalping. Crypto trade signals from Kirby charges 1 Bitcoin to sign up. Is that normal? I don't know, man. You know, I'm not going to cast shade or aspersion on any other content creator or anything like that. That's not what I do. I don't know Crypto Kirby personally. I've watched a couple of his videos. I don't really like his style. I don't really like his style, honestly. Doesn't mean he's not a good trader or an idiot or a bad person. I honestly don't know because I don't follow his content. We charge $150 a month to be in the premium service, which I think is pretty fair, you know. So you know, take that as you will. That's yeah, I don't know. I can't. It's hard for me to put a value on what somebody else's value is, you know. You know, we charge, you know, that's you know, $3,600. We charge $1,000 for a year's worth of access to our premium group. Discounts currently available if you guys check the premium info channel in the Discord. But you know, hey, it's whatever, man. All right, guys. Now I do really got to run. I need to get some food. I got to go run to town and grab some groceries and supplies for the upcoming week. I had to wait until today because finally the snow, it stopped like winter snowing. So I've got to go shovel snow. And then I'll be back in a couple hours. I'll sit down. I'll update all my active positions for the members. Try to chat a little bit. And really, I got to get back to that strategy tester, man, because I'm working hard on this indicator. I work hard for the money. So hard for the money. All right, guys, just to finish up, make sure that you guys go over to cryptocurrency.com. We are doing a free giveaway for the premium trading group, guys. We're giving away 3 one-month subscriptions to the trading group. There's 2 days left in the competition. There's 350 entrants so far. So hey, really, really happy that we're growing and that the competition is going well. Of course, after this, we are going to be having the X42 giveaway. We're giving away 5 masternodes worth of X42, and then following that, we'll be doing the MMO coin giveaway as well, obviously. If you guys, sorry, so now the normal stuff, guys. If this is your first time to the channel and you like the content and you like to support us, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an episode, as well as consider giving us a thumbs up. We highly appreciate it. It does all that stuff, guys. I know it's like, you know, it's like whatever, but it does help push us up in the stream, helps get our awareness out. And in my opinion, I think that I'm providing valuable information to traders and investors, and it helps get that information in front of the eyeballs that I think in this market scenario, the eyeballs that desperately need to see it the most, guys. So please, please, please help us do that. Help us get this information out. If you guys would like to support us in a more substantial way, of course, you guys can please head over to twitch.tv/cracking crypto. We are on Twitch. They do help us out a little bit more. We don't get a lot of ching from doing what we do on YouTube. It's pretty much, we pretty much work for free on this, honestly, to do the show. But if you head over to Twitch, you can guys give us a follow or a subscription over on Twitch. Does help support us. We appreciate that. You can also check out our Patreon at Cracking Crypto or pick up some merch from our merchandise store on the website, crackingcrypto.com, crackingcryptocurrency.com/merch. I have scientist reports that will show that drinking morning coffee out of our coffee mugs, our Cracking Cryptocurrency HODL mugs, will make you 85% more successful in your trading methodology. I legally will not allow you to hold me to that, but that is what the scientists say. If you guys would like to join the Cracking Cryptocurrency Premium Trading Group, of course, head on over to premium.crackingcryptocurrency.com for a full explanation of everything that you get with your subscription. If you don't want to wait, if you miss the giveaway competition, that information is always there and available to you guys, as well as pricing at the bottom of the stream. All right, guys. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, Jay Constant, DL, Darren Haig, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by. Of course, the regulars, man, Jasper, J Constant, Xanimus Crypto, Bitcoin Ninja, you were new in here. I hadn't seen you before. Nick Crypto, Win Moon. When it happens, man, when it happens. Yang Enterprises, thanks for stopping by, guys. I'm sorry if I missed anybody else. Of course, Jurgen Ernst, Podnuts, all you good guys, Texas Blues, JF Airplane. You guys have all been fantastic. And of course, Caribbean Crypto Show, guys. All right, so thank you so much. You guys have been fantastic. Of course, I've been Justin Wise with Cracking Cryptocurrency for another breaking Bitcoin market update. Hopefully today's show has helped crack cryptocurrency for you. And until tomorrow at 12 p.m. Central Standard Time, trade safely, guys. See you tomorrow.